되게 금에 갈 세계를 모릅니다.
Today, as was the Father understood, the free world today and the communist world in the other side, both are hitting the stone wall.
이 고개를 넘어야 역사적인 거고요. 이제 민주세계, 자유세계의 전체가 연합해서라도 이 고개를 넘어야 되고 공산세계도 이 고개를 연합해서 넘어야 되고 인류 역사도 협력해서 이 고개를 넘지 않으면 새로운 세계를 맞이할 또 하나님께서는 하나님과 마찬가지로서 이 고개를 넘게 하지 않으면 될 최정상 시대에 왔다는 사실을 알게 돼요.
I want you to understand that we have a problem. There is a hill to cross over. There's a mountain to climb up and over. And the free world has to climb over. And the communist world has to climb over. History has to climb over that hill. And God ultimately has to climb over that mountain.
그런 것을 넘을 수 있는 길을 아는 안내자라든가 그러한 것을 확실히 아는 지도자가 있으면 무조건 따라가지 않으면 안 될 그런 필요한 인물이 있습니다.
So that is the destiny. We have a destiny to climb over the mountain. So what we need the most is now the guide and or the forerunner who understand the path clearly.
에베레스트 최고 정상보다도 높겠느냐 낮겠느냐 생각.
What about that mountain, historical mountain, mountain of destiny to climb over is the lower than the highest mountain of the world, probably Everest.
얼마나 하야 얼마나 해야.
What do you think? How much higher? What do you think? 1 foot higher?
하나님이 볼 때 그 아무것도 아니다 이럴 수 있는 그만한 하야 할 것이야. 공산세계는 민주세계 인류가 버릴 때 참 높다 할 수 있는 하야가 있냐. 아무것도 아니겠냐.
That mountain is so high, or well, reasonably high from the inner side of God, that's virtually nothing. You know, it just can be disregarded. Or as a mountain in the eyes of the free world, eyes of the communistic world, it is so high, insurmountable, untouchable, virtually impossible to deal with. What kind of height we're talking about? What kind of height? How high? Is it mediocre height?
나 하나 죽어가지고 그거를 돈 주고 사서 넘을 수 있으면은 내 하나 죽어가지고 넘어갈 수 있는 길을 찾을 수 있다면 나 하나 팔아서 그 길을 살 수 있겠나 없겠나?
What it just for me, one individual just being sacrificed, that hill can be crossed over. You know, one sacrifice would be good enough for everybody, for entire world. What do you think? That will be the case?
그래서 팔아가지고 그 길을 그런 넘어갈 수 있는 길을 내가 살 수 있고 가질 수 있다면 나 하나 팔아서라도 그거 사야 되겠나 가져야 되겠나?
What about another way of asking a question? If there's the only way to cross over and climb over that mountain is to have your life being sacrificed, then there might be a way or hope to climb over the mountain. Then would be worthy sacrifice for the path? Yes or no?
너도 그럴 수 있어?
Can you do? Can you become that kind of a sacrifice?
너도 손 들어봐.
Raise hand, show me. Yes, I can give my life for it.
Moon is wonderful.
That's the sign of the moon.
마치 wonderful moon is 예? 정말 그래?
Are you really? It's a lip service or come out of your heart?
그렇다면 괜찮게?
Well, then I'm not going to be disappointed. You're pretty good, aren't you, in that case?
내가 만약에 한 사람 주고 바꿔 안 된단 말이야. 문의 중에 제일 못난 사람을 빼서 주고 바꾸게 되겠나? 제일 잘난 사람을 주고 빼서 바꾸게 되겠나?
So let's say Father knew that one sacrifice is needed to win the path, to cross over the mountain. All right. In that case, the Father is going to pick a very poor, very miserable, tiny Mooney, or one elegant, most dynamic, most powerful mooning. What kind of mooning Father's going to pick?
얻은 거야.
Which one Father will pick?
어째서 세컨하니? 어째서?
Why the second? Why Father does pick the second?
선생님은 말이야, 싸구려 싼 것 두고 말이 바꿔오는 것이 장사 중에 좋지. 어째서 그래야 되네요? 어째서?
It's a bargain to give it away in a little small tiny moonie and take the whole pass. That's the real bargain. That's a sales, kind of sale you want to enjoy.
어째서?
What do you think?
그럼 어째서?
Why you say second? Why should pay precious price?
Second one's more precious. Second one's worth more.
하나님과 사탄을 놓고 거래하는 걸 알아야 돼. 거래해야 돼. 우리끼리 아니라 하나님 앞에, 사탄 앞에 거래하기 때문에 내 마음대로 못한다고 알겠어? 거래해야 돼.
First of all, this deal can only be structured between God and Satan. Deal between God and Satan. No man, the free will, can intervene. It's a deal between God and Satan.
사탄은 레브론 문식을 되면 이거 제일 못난 싸구려 하게 되면 사탄은 참사 안 됩니다.
If Reverend Moon paid the cheapest price, sale price, then Satan immediately go to God. Look, God, look what your son did. What the Reverend Moon did to me. Look at the cheap stuff. And he trying to take the precious thing away from me, and he paid a little cheap stuff.
돈 받는 주인은 누구야? 돈 받는 주인은 사탄이냐 하나님이냐 이 문제라고. 그 사람을 받는 말이야. 그 값을 받는 주인이 누구냐? 이게야.
Then we have to also ask another question. Who is receiving that value of sacrifices? Who received that money? Sales money goes where? In whose pocket?
누가 받는 거야?
Who received that money? Sacrifice offered to whom? To who's receiving that value?
아무리 레버리는 흥정을 해서 그것을 산다 하더라도 누구에게 살 수 있는 특권이냐면 사탄이 현재 사는 것이 아니야. 하나님의 허락이 나자면 살 수 없다는 사실을 알아야 돼.
So no matter how much Reverend Moon wants to buy the pass, that is not to be purchased for the sake of Satan, for the sake of God. Therefore, ultimately, the God's approval must be given. Without God's approval, that purchase cannot be made.
하나님은 그러면 어떻게? 하나님은 우주적이다, 세계적이다. 우주적이다, 세계적.
God is always universal, cosmic, and universal.
그 사탄도 알고 레브론 문도 안다야.
Satan knows, Reverend Moon knows that God is universal.
그러려면 사탄이 참석 안 받기 위해서는 이 우주적인 세계사적인 이러한 개인을 하나 뽑아가지고 거래해가 받으면 그건 가능하지.
In order to
선생님도 인정하고 사탄도 돈 줄 수 없지.
To avoid the accusation of the Satan, the Father must pick the one sacrifice that is fit to cosmic meaning and a universal meaning, then offer as a sacrifice in altar of God. Then Satan, first of all, will be satisfied. He got enough price, enough sacrifice. Ultimately, God is the one who received, that gift. Therefore, God is all satisfied.
Reverend Moon
also satisfied. Reverend Moon is also
그렇지
satisfied.
않고는 하나님 지단을 우주적이요 세계적 대표자 있는 하나님 받을 수 없어. 사탄 즉각 참사.
So unless Reverend Moon go that far, the best, most precious, eternal, and universal and cosmic offering to be made for the purpose of that sacrifice, then Satan would not be satisfied, first of all.
역사인의 재물은 최고 귀한 것을 뽑는 것이니라는 것을 알아야 돼요.
For that reason, throughout the history, all the sacrifices that are providentially offered has been the most precious one. Because Satan always requests the highest possible sacrifice.
있는 사람들이 연결을 몰라서 그렇지. 그렇게 정성들에 가져가지고요. 선앙당 아니냐, 귀신은 되겠다, 마귀는 되겠다 바치더라도 그건 마귀가 하나님으로 들어간다는 거예요. 정성을 다한 이런 기준에서 그 재물을 받을 땐 마귀 대장을 통해가지고 나중에 하나님께서 통해서 이런 비결이 있다는 거예요.
The problem today that the people do not know the spirit world. That's the problem, today. Actually, you offer sometimes even superstitiously. You offer a certain sacrifice to devil and Satan, but it won't go to, ultimately. That sacrifice won't go to devil or Satan. It will ultimately go to God.
그래서 이 보편적인 도덕 관념이 정언을 해라, 희생해라, 남을 위해서 해라 하는 것은 하나님이 받게 되어 있지 사탄은 전달하는 거예요.
Throughout history, all good religion has been teaching the virtue of sacrifice, virtue of giving, virtue of nobility, good-naturedness, and the virtue of sacrificial love. Why? Because all these kind of sacrifices or giveaway cannot end up in Satan. It's all go all the way to God.
한 100단계 올라간다면 사탄 이놈의 자식이야, 저놈의 자식 때문에 우리나라를 망치는구만. 언제나 때리고 말다.
So each step, there's a step. Let's say there's hundreds of steps to climb up, and each step, Satan resents. God wins the victory. Each step is a victory for God. But for Satan, each step is a defeat for Satan. For that reason, each step, Satan says, vituperating.
우리나라를 망치겠어. 그렇지만 할 수 없구나.
And just trying to hurt, assassinate, character assassinate, whatever. They want to do everything to hurt and stop them. But then, once the true sacrifice is offered, even Satan reluctantly has to admit he cannot stop it.
역사시대에 이런 원칙이 있기 때문에 성인들이 그 시대는 죽었지만은 악한 세세가 옮겨가지고 하늘로 바쳐가는 그 역사적 과정이 길기 때문에 50년, 100년, 메시지, 몇천년 역사를 통해서 세계적인 인물로 등장한 하나님 앞에 바쳐질 수 있는 길이 여기까지 나온다 보는 거예요.
This is the reason in history so many good saints suffer the martyrdom given as a sacrifice in the altar of God. In many cases, like a setback and a defeat in the eyes of the people. But actually, because of the sacrifice, God winning the battle every step, their life would never be in vain.
Dr. Smith, even though you yourself are not a member of the Unification Church, what is your understanding of why the Unification Church would fund and provide staff for and otherwise sponsor conferences like this?
Well, I'll give you my understanding, but I want to emphasize that this is not what I've been told, so it's just really my surmise that I've put together. That it looks to me that the Reverend Moon feels that he has a direct commission from God to do what he can towards the bringing of the kingdom of God on earth in his time, or at least approaching it as far as he can in his time. Now, one of the things that sets the contemporary world apart from the kingdom of God is the serious, tragic, dangerous divisions that thwart true brotherhood. And what does one do when one finds people pitted one against the other for reasons of race, religion, nationality? Well, I'm giving you my perception of it. that what one does is one brings them together and gets them to start talking to one another. And as I say, it looks to me as though this is the Reverend Moon's sense of the divine mandate that has fallen upon him. So this is what he seems to be doing. Needless to say, I think it's wonderful.
Dr. Foster, although you're not a member of the Unification Church, I understand that you have met Reverend Moon several times.
Yes, I have.
What is your impression of him as a man?
I'm deeply impressed by Reverend Moon. I feel that I do not know him well, of course, but both from interpersonal interaction with him, dialogue, which has occurred on a couple of occasions, and from what I know of him through others, I am impressed by his vision, his freedom from his own previously established policies, if you will. That is to say, his freedom and openness to undertake bold new ventures with a kind of breathtaking, imaginative sweep. I think we see that in things like the God conferences and other things that the International Religious Foundation are doing. There seems to be a kind of serendipity about Reverend Moon in which he goes beyond the way in which people expect he will react, to do things that are courageous, we could also say faithful, and all of this manifests, it seems to me very clearly, his profound faith in God, his sense of a deep unity with God. That's part of it. His composure, his friendliness, his humanity, these things come through as one encounters him person to person.
자, 그러면 아까 말한 우주의 중심, 우리 사람의 중심이 뭐냐 이게 이 말.
So then once again, what is the universal center and man's center? What is central theme, central thing?
사람의 중심이 뭐에 대해 가느냐 이게.
So what is the central theme of man?
응? 뭐에 대해 가느냐?
The central thing of the human being, for example. This is why, again.
그럼 이 우주의 모든 작용하는 데 있어 그 센터가 뭐냐?
So then, men and women, their true center must be true love. True love is the center. What about then universal center should be?
이 우주가 말하는데 무엇을 원할까? 뭐랄까? 권력을 요구한다. 그 우주가 말하겠나? 돈이 필요하다. 지식이 필요하다 말하겠어?
What do you think? Universal, cry out for money, cry out for power, cry out for, knowledge, universe, crying out for that.
뭐이겠나?
What do they for crying out for?
그런 하나님이 인간을 사랑으로, 인간도 이와 같이 하늘 땅과 같은 이런 내외적인 존재를 지어놓고 이것을 풀어야 된다. 하나 된다. 하나 되는 뭐냐? 사랑이 하나 만들 수 있다. 돈이 아니고 권력이 아니고 지식이 아니고.
All these things God will to happen. Invisible world, visible world. Invisible man, visible man. And God wants to unite them and embrace with them, not with the knowledge, not with the power, not with the money, but the power of love.
그래서 이 우주를 왜 지었느냐? 사랑 때문에 지었다. 이런 얘기 나왔다고.
So why God created the world? We come to a conclusion. God created the world for the fulfillment of love.